Welcome to story time. We haven't been out in the field much lately, so I thought I'd tell you about one of our investigations that we did a couple of years ago. It was a very interesting one. It was a private house investigation, and I just wanted to tell you this just to sort of explain to you a little bit about how spirit can work and interact with us. Now, this investigation, there was a young lady who called us a couple of years ago, and she sort of said there was a few happenings in the house, and she asked us to come and investigate. She didn't know what was going on. So what we did was we went in, set up our gear. We could sense a little bit of activity sort of happening around the house and all that. And in the lounge room, we set up a laser grid, we set up the K2, we set up a few cameras and a couple of other things. And what happened was we could feel a young male that was hanging around the house. And we using our senses, we sort of picked up on that it was a male and it was somebody that she knew. And we were drawn to a photo that was sitting on a shelf in her lounge room, and we sort of pointed to it and said, well, look, who's this guy here? Because we're sort of sensing that it's got something to do with this photo here. And she said, oh my God, that's a photo that keeps moving all the time, and sometimes it even falls off the shelf. Anyway, she said the guy's name was Michael, and he was a young fella who died at a young age, and he was a very good close friend of hers. And it was very, very interesting, the rest of the investigation, because what had happened was we felt that he was connected to the activity. So we asked him to show some sort of sign as to that he was around. So anyway, we went on with the investigation. Nothing was happening. The K2 wasn't really happening. The cameras weren't sort of really picking up anything. We weren't getting any light anomalies in the laser grid. We didn't use any spirit boxes or anything at that stage. We were using mostly our senses. So anyway, as we were chatting away to this lady in front of, with all our cameras and everything sort of operating, all of a sudden her phone that was sitting on the coffee table, when we were asking for any indication that Michael was around, her phone lit up. Now, she had it on silent, but it actually lit up and vibrated on the table. She went to check who was trying to ring her, and she said, oh my God, this is Michael's number. He's passed away, he's been passed away now for a year. Anyway, Michael's number appeared on the phone. So we thought, well, this is fantastic, no worries. Anyway, the phone stopped, and we asked if he could do it again. And it lit up again with his number. And she still had his number logged into the phone. So he was trying to communicate with us and couldn't find any way of doing it apart from lighting up her phone with his number coming up on the phone, which was fantastic. Well, we went on and we asked a series of different questions, and each time we got an affirmative, the phone would light up with his number. We managed to ascertain that this young fellow was not very happy with how the young lady had been treated by her current boyfriend. And this is why Michael was causing a little bit of movement in the house, causing things to fall and drop and trying to get her attention. And basically, he was trying to tell her that she can do a lot better and she shouldn't be treated the way that she is treated. Cut a long story short, we captured some footage of all of this happening, and we'll show this footage to you shortly. A little bit of the footage just showing that the phone was actually lighting up up during our investigation, but this was how he managed to communicate with her, using his phone number, lighting it up on her phone, just to show that he was around and to try and get some sort of a message through to her. Now, there's a little bit more to the story, but we'll show you a little bit of the footage that we've got now of the phone lighting up. Just a very brief footage. Make a TV flicker or make the lights flicker or something. It's like...
Okay, she's here now. Make a phone call. Show her it's you.
Don't go camera shy.
Don't go camera show, but
Yeah, it's just...
yeah. Come and have a look, Dal. Come and have a look. Oh, sorry. See, we've got 1, 2, 3 patches,
yeah.
and they're not there. They're just standing there.
Oh, gee. You can't see them, but you can see them.
Yeah. You're gonna make a phone call off again? You won't scare her because we've told her.
Yeah.
It's been going off the whole time
Oh,
we've been talking.
really?
Yeah.
And it actually, like, rang. It was vibrating, like it was ringing.
Oh, yeah. It's all on. It's all
Yeah,
on
no,
here.
that's
The
good.
video. Yeah. So there was someone standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
That's
So weird.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, just let it go, doll.
It's going off.
Yeah. Your mate's playing with it. Just let him play with it.
Okay.
He's trying to talk to you.
I'll just stop it.
Yeah. Now ask him to play. Ask him to send you a message.
Send me a message, please.
What's your mate's name?
Jonesy. That's crazy.
That's
Madam,
awesome. Thank you.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Ask him.
Ask him if he's happy.
Are you happy?
Okay, so anyway, in this bit of footage there, you can see that the phone was lighting up, and basically the guy was trying to tell her that she shouldn't be treated the way that she is being treated by her current boyfriend, and we got that message across to her. And eventually, after I think a couple of months, she ended up getting rid of him, and for the next year she had quite a nice little life, didn't have any incidents in the house, and basically he did his job from spirit side, and he managed to reach out using her phone. So that's one way the spirit can interact. Now the second part of the story is about a year later we got a call from her again. Now she'd met this lovely guy she connected really well with. He'd moved into the house, and there was a little bit of activity that started in the house, so we went back and we thought, Michael trying to say something again. Well, anyway, as we went into the house, the new young fella, he was explaining to us what was happening in the house. And I walked past a picture on the wall and I said, look, I'm getting a really strong vibration from this picture. So what's the story of the picture? And he says, well, funny you mentioned that, because that picture always ends up dropping on its side. So it's sort of like half falls off the wall. It's just hanging on by a hook, and he can't get it to stay there properly. And it keeps slipping off the hook, slipping sideways. And he said that was, and I said to him, well, I put my hand on the picture and I said to him, well, I'm picking up a young lady. She's got blonde hair. She only looks about 18 to 20, if that. And she feels like a really, really lovely soul. And, you know, somebody who's passed away. And she said, oh my God. He said, oh my God, that's my sister. You know, she passed away around that age. And she passed away, I think it was a couple of years previous or something. And I said, well, that's her showing you that she is around. She's moving that picture. That's a picture she painted. And she's trying to show you that she is around you. And he was really, really pleased to hear that. So anyway, we went on and investigating the house. I had a look into one of the spare bedrooms, and the guy showed me in, and he was an avid collector of figurines, so he had a couple of walls covered in figurines. But there was a doll in a pram, and I was so taken by this doll, I said to the fella, do you mind if I hold this doll? I've got to hold this doll. And he said, oh, yeah, okay. All right, no worries. And he said to me, oh, look, I'll just go off and join the others. And Bethany was off doing a reading for the other lady and explaining a few things and all that. And I sat in a room on my own, and I picked up the doll and I sat on the floor, and I was so taken by the energy of this doll. And as soon as I picked up this doll, I picked up this young lady with the blonde hair again. And I said to her, okay, can you explain to me, you know, what your story is, what happened to you, and your name, and the rest of it. And I was so mesmerized with this doll, and I was holding this doll, and as I was holding it, I could feel the doll breathing, literally breathing. I could actually see the chest and the stomach rising up and down, up and down. I could see the eyes slightly sort of, they were closed, but you could see they were slightly trying to open. You could see the head slightly trying to turn, the mouth trying to smile. It was just an incredible thing, and I sat there for 20 minutes feeling this doll breathing. It was like a living and breathing being, and it was a beautiful doll. And after 20 minutes, and I got the story from this girl, I called the guy in and I said, okay, I'm going to tell you what I got. And I told him everything that I got about this doll. And I said, your sister is connected to this doll in some way. I don't know how she got a connection to this doll, but there is a strong connection, a strong vibration to this doll. And he sat down and he said, I made this doll. And I said, oh, okay, what do you mean you made it? And he said, I made it. I used the hair from my sister and transplanted it onto the head of the doll. And I used some of the ashes which I've put inside the doll. So this is how his sister got a connection to this doll. And it was just an amazing thing. And I said, I can feel this doll breathing. I can hear it breathing. I can feel it breathing. I can put my hand on there. I can feel the chest and the stomach rising. I said, you've done an amazing thing here, and you've managed to get a connection. It's not an attachment, but it's a periodic connection that you can connect to your sister with through this doll. By doing what you did, transplanting some of her hair and putting some of her ashes into this doll, you've just done something amazing, and you've managed to have that lifelong connection with your sister. She's crossed over. She's not attached to the doll. She's not lost on an earth level, but you can have this connection. And it was just an awesome thing to experience, this living, breathing doll with his sister's energy in it. So that is another way that spirit, this young guy, he just did an amazing thing, and I don't know why he did it. He didn't explain why he did it. He just wanted something to connect to his sister. And he says, every time I pick up that doll, I feel so much at peace, and I feel so much love, and I feel my sister around. And that's why he created that, I guess, and he has that as a lifelong thing. And don't forget here, the sister is not a lost soul. She's not earthbound. She's not connected to the doll, but she can jump in from spirit side whenever he feels the need, whenever he feels a little bit down, a little bit lonely, a bit depressed or whatever. The sister was very, very pleased with, you know, the young lady who I was explaining about before, that they had connected up, and it's a lovely, lovely partnership. But anyway, there's a couple of little stories for you about how spirit can use a phone, use technology to try and communicate something to a person, and also how a spirit can connect to something that you create, you know, yourself. And this young lady, he created this doll with her hair, her ashes, and now he has, like, it's almost like a permanent heart link to his sister, which he'll have all his life. And it's such a beautiful thing. I'm going to show you a brief picture of this doll. It's amazing. I haven't got any video footage of it, but I'll show you a brief picture of this doll, and you may feel it yourself that the energy in this doll is such a lovely, lovely energy. Okay, that's the end of story time for now. Hope you've enjoyed it. Cheers.